A very good evening to all my dear students. Welcome to today's class where we are going to complete chapter number 1, preliminary, part 2 of the class. Good evening, Yukta, Astha, Almas, Shubham, Nagaratna Bani, Mehek, Sunil, Priyanka, all of you. Welcome to the class on behalf of ICAI. I welcome each one of you for today's session and class. All right, so I hope you have revised. Mahalakshmi, Rajita, Priya, all of you, welcome children. I hope you all have revised what we have done in the previous class and you're all geared up with your pens and papers in the hands ready, and we're going to progress towards further definitions. But as we always revise what we have done in the previous class, so let's have a quick recap so that I can take a small test of yours so that we can understand how well you remember. So Companies Act 2013 is applicable. We all very well know about this. And is it applicable to insurance companies? Okay. Adya is having a problem in holding and subsidiary. Okay. You can write down your doubts. I will clarify them. Okay, Adya, we'll understand the difference between two. So it is applicable to Insurance Act also. Yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am? Is Companies Act 2013 applicable to insurance companies also? All right, everyone has said yes. So in case there is an inconsistency between the IRDA Act and the Companies Act regulations, what should the insurance companies be following? Will they follow their respective act or will they follow their insurance act? Excellent. Wherever the provisions are inconsistent, all these companies, banking, insurance, and electricity will follow their respective acts. I hope this thing is very clear. Section 1 is crystal clear to all of you. Now, section 2, few of the definitions that I'm going to ask you, bridge prospectus. I remember Shraddha ma'am also took a quick recap of the day before yesterday's class, and you all were able to answer that it's a memorandum which tells you the summarized form of a prospectus, the salient features in which we have tell you what are the brief up, what are the summaries of the prospectus as specified by SEBI. After that, we did the definition of associate company. Any doubts in associate company? You all remember significant influence in relation to, that is the important line that you have to remember, in relation to a company, in relation to another company, having a significant influence, which is not a subsidiary. Why we are saying it is not a subsidiary? Because subsidiary company has a relationship of more than 50% of the shareholding. So from at least 20%, more than 20%, up till 50%, the relationship of associate company exists. If I am holding the shares in a fiduciary, not me, a company, can I be an associate company with another company? Parijat is asking how to join the session in Zoom. So you can join from the app, child. The link has been given over there. You can join it directly in the Zoom also. Asta Sethi is writing, ma'am, please tell the meaning of what? You have not written the word, child. IRD Act will prevail. That's great. That's correct. Good evening, Mr. Rahul, Asta, Soumya, and all those who have joined on the admin portal also. Okay, yes, remembered association company. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. One line difference of MOA and AOA. Yes, Adya, what do you want to know about MOA and AOA? MOA and AOA is basically the documents which you will be covering in chapter number 2 in detail. You will be discussing about the memorandum of association as well as the articles of association. In detail, you're going to do about that. Okay, as of now, if you simply ask me, memorandum is the document which is the basic document. It gives the detail about how the company is formed, what are the procedures, name clause, object clause, and articles talks about the rules and regulations. So if we are holding the shares, if a company is holding the shares in the fiduciary capacity, will it be counted? Excellent, Khushi Shukla, it will not be counted. Okay. See, ma'am has given you the message also. You can go to BOS Live and you can go to schedule and then you can join through the Zoom link. Asta, you were asking, Parijat. You can go to BOS live and schedule intermediate, and then you can join through the Zoom link. All right. Okay. Absolutely correct. All those who have answered that in case of a fiduciary capacity, it will not be considered. Very good. So accounting and auditing standards, again, we have done the basic underlining things that you have to remember, how the recommendation is taken from ICAI, central government is going to prescribe. These are the basic standards and methods set up for doing, when we are doing the accounting, we have to follow accounting standards. All the similar uniformity between the companies can be brought. Similarly, when you're doing audit practice, then you have to follow the auditing standards, which have been given after the recommendations and examination by National Financial Reporting Authority. I hope no doubts in classification of capital. We have done this also. Body corporate, okay, another test of yours in which I'm going to ask you, what do you understand by the meaning body corporate? Is it the same as it is a company? Can we say company and body corporate is one and the same thing? Body corporate includes foreign company. It's different from company. Yes, it's a wider term. Basically, body corporate is a wider term. Company is also a body corporate. Okay. So body corporate includes company and it also includes any company incorporated outside India. But can we say cooperative society is also a body corporate? Yes or no? No is the correct answer. Good. Cooperative societies are not part of body corporate. See how well you all are answering and how well you have memorized the technique that ma'am has taught you and you have remembered all those things. So wonderful. So books of accounts, any doubt in books of accounts? We have already discussed this also, receipts, expenditure, sales. Again, just keep in your mind trading, P&L account and balance sheet. That is all your books of accounts. Only one thing more under section 148, the specified items of cost under 1, 2 and 3 have to be included. After that, these were the basic definitions that we have done. Somebody is having a doubt between holding and subsidiary. So let's have a quick recap of holding and subsidiary. So basically, it starts with the definition of control. When I'm trying to control the directors or I'm trying to control the management or policies, decisions of another company, that is how we define the word control, having the right to appoint. So this control is the definition which helps us to understand the relationship between the holding and subsidiary company. Now, the interesting part is when you go to the study material, they have given you the definition of subsidiary company. Okay. It says subsidiary company means a company on which the control is exercised. Now, many a times students feel that how we have to learn this definition. We have understood that what is the meaning of holding and subsidiary. So we try to explain you that if A Limited is holding or having more than 50% of the shares of B Limited, then A Limited becomes holding company, B Limited becomes subsidiary company. But how we have to write it, again going back to the same definition of associate company, subsidiary company is a company in relation to another company, same line, in which the other company is controlling the composition of board of directors. Now here you have to tell them how these companies are related, because if such kind of questions come under the definitions, you'll see definition of subsidiary company has been given in the elaborative terms. Definitely you can write it in your own words also, but you can at least you have to learn these words, that where one, or we can use the word where one company controls the composition of board of directors of another company, then the company which is controlling becomes the holding company and the latter company becomes the subsidiary company. Where one company is controlling more than half of the total voting powers of the other company directly or indirectly through its subsidiary. Either I'm directly holding more than one half of the voting power. Say, for example, there is a company A Limited which has 100 crores of share capital. Now, C Limited is holding 30% of its share capital. Along with its subsidiary D Limited, it is holding 50%. So the total shareholding will be counted 80%. Therefore, ABC will be considered as the subsidiary of that company. Either I'm directly holding more than 50% in your company or I'm holding along with my subsidiaries, we have to see if the hold is more than 50%. I hope more than 50% is absolutely clear to all of you. 50.5% holding in your company, I become holding company, you become my subsidiary company. The word more than one half is used here, not exact one half. So we have done this previous year examination questions also, in which definition was taught to you. I hope now the difference is clear. Holding company controls subsidiary company. Yes, Adya, absolutely. Holding company is controlling. So definition of holding company simply tells you the company which holds the subsidiary company. Okay. Yes, Priyanka, absolutely correct. The company which is holding the share capital is known as holding company and the other company is known as subsidiary company. Absolutely correct, Yukta Motwani. Ayushi, in which context you're asking this question related to fellow company? You can write the exact question. I hope now your doubts are clear. Priyanka has written, ma'am, law fair is now gone. That's great. We are glad to know that. Okay. So any doubts in public and private company? I think we have done various questions related to public and private company also. My only question in the revision to all of you is, do we include the employees who were allotted the shares when they were employees in the count of 200 members? Do we include the employees who were allotted the shares when they were employees of the company? No, ma'am, they are not included in the limit of 200. Absolutely correct. Another question, Prem Kumar, just give me one more chance to ask a question, then I will give you a chance to speak. After that, there are 5 shareholders who are jointly holding 1 share in a company. Will you count those shareholders as 5 shareholders or will you count them as the single shareholder? Absolutely correct. They will be counted as a single shareholder. Absolutely correct. Very good. Yes, Prem Kumar, you want to speak something? Yes, Mr. Prem Kumar, you want to ask something? All right. We cannot hear you. If you want to type your query in the chat box, you can type it. All right, public and private company is clear to everyone, and all of you have given wonderful answers for this one also. Now, the last quiz question for the small company is, what is the limit that I have to see if there is a company? There is a company, ABC Limited. It is having a turnover of 3.5 crores and the paid up share capital is 2 crores. Is it a small company? Yes or no? It is within the limits. Anubhav says yes. Shubham says yes. Harsh says yes. Rajveer says yes. Mausam Kumari is also saying yes. So all those people who have said yes, it's absolutely wrong. And all those who have said, no, ma'am, it's a public company. It can never be a small company. Excellent. It is written in front of you. Means small company is always a private company. So examiner is trying to give you such kind of questions just to confuse you. So be very careful to read the question very carefully. Okay. And in the same question, if I try to make a twist, if it is an ABC Private Limited, then yes, it will become a small company. But I tell you that it is a subsidiary of CD Limited. Then will you call it a small company? No, because this provision is not applicable to holding and subsidiary. And anyways, a private company, which is a subsidiary of public company, shall deem to be a public company. That is also one provision that we have studied. So in that case also, it will not be considered as a small company. All right. Now Harsh has written no. Great. Mahalakshmi, Bhumika, Yukta, Priya, MD, Shams Khan, Bani, Farida, all of you, good. Anup Kumar, Anand Ruthi, All of you have given the correct answers. Yes, Kushi, Shukla, Rohan, all of you. Good. All right. And is it applicable to Section 8 companies? Can we say Section 8 company can be a small company? No, ma'am. Correct. After that, we have also discussed the definition of financial statement. Quickly write down in the chat box what is the definition of financial statement, what 5 things are included in the financial statements. Everyone has to write it down. Yes, balance sheet, P&L and CFS are something which you have already learned. What were the 2 new things? Statement of changes in equity and the explanatory note forming attached part of the subclause. And which are the companies for which it is not compulsory? Excellent answers given by all of you. Good. And which are the companies for which it is not mandatory to include the CFS? Which companies it is not mandatory to include the cash flow statements? Dormant companies, small companies, and private companies, which is a startup. Okay, always write private company, which is a startup. Very good. I hope we have done this question also. Please, can anyone clarify? Have we done this question? July 2021 problem. Have we solved it? Sunil Kumar says no. Okay, we have not discussed this question, so we'll discuss it in a while. Let's do few of the definitions and then just remind me, we will do this question today. All right. What is the debentures? Debentures definition also we have done. I told you that it is debentures, stocks and bonds. It is a kind of a borrowing by constituting a charge on the assets, and the further instruments which are referred under Chapter 3D of Reserve Bank of India and others specified by central government will not be treated as debentures. So this is just a definition which you can learn. What is included is debentures, stocks, bonds, which constitute a charge on the assets of the company, and 2 things which are not included: Chapter 3D of the RBI Act instruments and other instruments specified by CG. After that, ESOPs, you all know, ESOPs are the shares given to the employees or the directors or officers of the company at a predetermined price on a future date. Who is an expert? Now, expert is somebody about whom we all very well know. These 3 words we have heard very clearly. Who are an expert? That is a valuer, somebody who is going to do the valuation, an engineer, a chartered accountant, company secretary, cost accountant. How do we have to learn them? CA, CS, cost accountant, related field, you all understand that. The only 2 new fields are engineer and valuer are also considered to be expert. Or any other person who has the power of attorney, power or authority to issue the certificate according to the law for the time being force. Means an advocate or lawyer is also considered to be an expert. So CA, CS, cost accountant, 3 from C's, engineer and valuer, 5 you have learned, and any other person who is holding the certificate of practice of law for the time being in force. Expert's definition is very, very important when we go to chapter number 3 in prospectus. A statement of expert is attached in the prospectus. Okay, let's do a very important definition, financial year. What is the meaning of financial year? Financial year means for any company or a body corporate, it is the period which is ending on the 31st March of every year. So what is the financial year for every company? 1st April, for this current year it is 1st April 2025 till 31st March 2026. Very simple. Why have they given such a big definition when it is such a simple thing? And it is one of the important definitions of Companies Act. Financial year. It says every company is going to prepare its accounts. So we have to have a uniform financial year so that again the comparison of the accounts of the companies and a comparison of your own previous year's accounts becomes very, very easy. So every year, the company is going to prepare its financial statements on the year ending 31st March of every year. But under Companies Act, there is one important line which is written over here, which says that any company which is incorporated on or after first day of January, the period ending on 31st March of the following year will be considered as the financial year, which means if my company is formed on 10th of January 2025, then what will be my financial year ending? My financial year will end on, please tell me in the chat box. If the company is incorporated on 10th January 2025, 2 marks MCQ question comes like this. Rajveer has went to 27. Why going to year 27? Sunil is also going to 27. Just the next financial year. So otherwise, my end year would have ended on 31st March 25, but now it will end on 31st March 2026. Is that clear? Okay, another. A company incorporated on 3rd September 25. When will be the financial year end? Financial year ends on 31st March 26. Is that clear? Am I right? Yes, all of you are correct. But if the same company is formed on 1st February 23, financial year ends on 31st March 24. Very good. Good, children. So you have understood the concept. So if on or after 1st January we are forming the company, then on the next 31st March of the next financial year, you will be ending. And if otherwise April, May, June, July, anytime you're forming the company till December, then on the 31st March of the normal financial year that we follow. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, now let's proceed ahead. Now it tells you that where any company or body corporate, which is a holding company or a subsidiary company or associate company of a company incorporated outside India. So you are a company ABC Limited, which is a holding company of PQ Limited, which is incorporated in USA. So there is a company you are, which is your subsidiary, and you're a holding company. You're having your subsidiary in foreign company. Basically, company incorporated outside India means a foreign company. Foreign company is again full-fledged chapter, the definition given under section 2, clause 42, which tells you that it is a company incorporated outside India having a place of business in India. But that is a very extensive definition, which we do in detail when we do that chapter. As of now, simply let's assume the PQ is the foreign company which is incorporated in USA, company incorporated outside India. Now, ABC Limited is also preparing their financial statements from 1st of April 23. What will be the year end? If I have taken 1st April 23, it will be year ending on 31st March 24. Very good. But USA company, this subsidiary company PQ Limited, it follows a different financial year. That is, it follows 1st January 2023 till 31st December 2023. Now, my subsidiary company, which is incorporated outside India, is following a different financial year, and I am in India having this financial year. Don't you think that the consolidation of accounts will be a problematic thing for them? If they are required to follow different financial years and they have to consolidate their financial statements. Consolidation means, CFS, consolidated financial statements means holding and subsidiary companies have to prepare their financial statements in consolidation also. So now for this purpose of consolidation, you can make an application to the central government in such form as may be prescribed, means whatever form has been told to you, in that form you will make an application and you will take the permission that they shall allow you to follow any period as your financial period. Whether that period is an year or it is a quarter or whatever it is. So here it has written company incorporated means a foreign company which is following the rules and laws applicable to them as per their country. So PQ Limited over here is following USA laws. So whatever their country is going, हो सकता है वो बोले just for 3 months it is your financial year. Then this ABC Limited will make the application for 3 months filing of the consolidated financial accounts. If they are following this calendar year, 1st January to 31st December, then ABC Limited will make the application to the central government that please allow us to follow 1st January to 31st December as the financial year because we require this for the consolidation of the accounts. Simple. Now, why we try to tell you is because if examiner gives you 2 marks question, what is the financial year, then you have to write all this. First, you will write it is the year ending 31st March. Everybody has know about this. Then you will write if the company is formed on or after 1st January, year ending 31st March of the following year. Everyone knows that. You can give example also. Then you will write the third point that if you are a company who is a holding subsidiary or associate of a company which is formed outside India and you are following a different financial year for consolidation, then please make an application to the central government in such form as may be prescribed and take the permission for following the different financial year. That's it. All right. Remind me to take up this text from the study material also. I'll show you where it is written. Yes, we need to match the accounting policies for the purpose of consolidation. Absolutely correct. Rajta, Priya, Mausam, all of you, Rajveer, correct. So now here is a question in front of you on the screen. But before that, I should show you the study material because there is one point related to the tribunal point also. Please keep revising the context from the study material also and keep doing all the examples given in the chapter over there. Where it is. Show. I hope it's visible now. So here is your expert financial statement and financial year. So this statement of tribunal. Okay. So children, where it is written that it allows its any period as the financial year, there is a statement given over here. Okay, Nagratna Bani is saying India is... So no, the understanding that you have written is if you're having a different financial year, it is 1st Jan to 31st March, what they are following, and you are following till 31st December in USA, then for the purpose of consolidation, you can take a shorter period. Okay. You can take a shorter period or the period which your foreign company is following, you can make the application to the central government. Now listen carefully, children. What is written over here? Point number 4 that they're giving the reference that if there is any application which is pending before the tribunal on the date of commencement of the Companies Amendment Ordinance 2019. It says now you have made the application to the central government. You can also go to the tribunal for making an application for following the different financial year. And if there is any application which is pending before the tribunal, it has to be disposed of within a period of 2 years from the commencement, aligning its financial year as per the clause. Now, it says that this provision is not relevant now, but since it is forming part of the act, so you should know it. So now I don't want to confuse you much. I simply want you to remember the statement that in case there is any statement since in November 2019, this question has come. So we can simply make an assumption and understand what is the relevance of this thing that if any application is lying before the tribunal, which is pending minimum within 2 years period, it has to be disposed of. So it has already 2 years has already passed now, right? 2019, 20, 21 till 21, it was relevant. So this is no longer relevant, but it is part of the act. Therefore, you should know it, because when you'll open the study material, you'll read, you'll say, what is this? That's why I just wanted to show it to you. Now you can see this question. It says SKP Limited, registered in India. It's a public company which is formed in India. It is a wholly owned subsidiary of Harry Limited. In my example, I made the Indian company as the holding company. Okay, it is holding, but here it is making a subsidiary because it can be a holding or subsidiary or associate. So now I am an Indian company which is a subsidiary of foreign company which is Harry Limited. And they decided to follow different financial year for the consolidation of accounts outside India. Now, if you want to follow different financial years, what will you do? It simply tells you that if you are a holding subsidiary or associate company, you can make an application to the central government in the form as may be prescribed, and you can ask them that please allow us to use any period as the financial year, whether or not that period is an year. Now, why it is important to write whether or not it is an year? Because it can be taken as a quarter, quarterly, 6 months, 3 months, whatever period you want to take, you can take for the purpose of comparison of your accounts. Is that clear, everyone? All right. Okay, so let's do 1 and 2, 3 more definitions, and then I'll take you to that important question which I want to do related to financial statements. What is the meaning of free reserves? I think free reserves we have done. So quickly tell me, what is the free reserves? The reserves which are freely available for distribution of dividends. Two things are not included in the definition of free reserves. What are those things which are not included in the free reserve? One is a notional gain. Notional gains means unrealized gains. I have not realized these gains as of now. It is on the revaluation of assets. And whatever the profits I'm going to get on the revaluation, they will not be included as part of my free reserves. GDRs, I told you, they are the global depository receipts. Whenever you want to issue your securities in foreign company, then we issue GDRs. Again, section 41, which is part of your chapter 3, there we'll be doing in detail. Now let's come to another important definition, that is, what is a government company? Government company is a company in which at least 51% of the share capital, paid up share capital, is held by the central government or by state government or partly by central or state government. And the most important line over here is, it includes the subsidiary of government company. Let's take an example. ABC Limited is a company in which central government is holding 20% of paid up share capital and government of Maharashtra is holding 35% of paid up share capital. Can we say ABC Limited is a government company? Yes or no? All these live examples, keep writing down, scribbling down in your notes so that it becomes easy for you to remember. Rosie is saying no, everybody else has said yes. Anup Kumar is also saying no. Why are you saying no? Can you give me the reason for no? Everybody is correct who has said yes. Yes is the correct answer. 20% by central government, you're holding 35%. So 20 plus 35 is 55. At least 51% should have been held by central or state government together or individually if they're holding. Then it becomes, yes, it's a government company. Harsh has given the explanation also, because along with the states you're holding, so it is a government company. Yes, Priyanka, because it is more than 51%. Anup is saying it is less than. How it is less than 51? 20 plus 35 is 55. It is more than 51%. Okay, so it's absolutely correct. Yes is the correct answer for this one. Now listen very carefully. Now you have said that, ma'am, yes, ma'am, ABC Limited is a government company. Okay, this is what you all have said, which is correct. ABC Limited is holding 51% of paid up share capital of CD Limited. Can we say, एक सेकेंड, इसको थोड़ा चेंज कर लेते हैं. ABC Limited is holding 25% of paid up share capital of CD Limited. Can we say CD Limited is a government company? Yes or no? Sunil is saying yes, ma'am. So Nalin Tripathi is saying yes, ma'am. Raj Rajita is saying yes, ma'am. So and Rajveer is also saying yes. So all those who are saying yes, it's wrong. No is the correct answer. For holding and subsidiary, how much relationship you have to see, children? More than 50%. Let me change it. If ABC Limited is holding 56% or even 51% of paid up share capital of CD Limited, can we now say CD Limited is a government company? Yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. Now, because now ABC Limited, ये लिख लेना बेटा, बाद में you will forget, because now ABC Limited is holding is a holding company for CD Limited, and since ABC Limited is a government company, therefore CD Limited also becomes a government company. Is that clear to everyone now? Because now it is subsidiary of ABC Limited. I hope everyone has understood. Mehek, Mausam, Khushi, Miss Tisra, Hina. So many new names today. Good. Yes, so Nalan says, now ma'am, I got it. Good. All right, everyone is clear about this. Let's move ahead. There is another interesting question waiting for all of you. Please read this question on the screen. Everyone is going to read this question and try to answer it. I give you 2 minutes to solve this question. I hope everyone is trying to answer this one. Few of you have already sent the answers. Very good. Be very careful in reading the question, children, because you become the government company only if you are the subsidiary of a government company. All right. So let's read the question. State government of X is holding 48 lakh shares. Paid up capital is 95 lakhs. Y directly holds 2 lakh 50,000 out of the share capital of 5 lakh shares. Z is claiming the status of subsidiary company of Y as well as a government company. So let us see how you have to write the answer. First of all, the provisions will contain the definition of both the topics. That is a provision, section 2, clause 42. You don't remember section 2, clause 42, simply write according to the provisions of the Companies Act. Government company is a company in which not less than 51% of the share capital should be held by these people. That's it. This is clear. Then you will give the definition of subsidiary company. I taught you in the revision also today that subsidiary company's definition is important because you will have to write it in the exam. Subsidiary company means in relation to any other company, that is to say the holding company. So we try to make it easy for you. That is to say the holding company in which the holding company controls the composition of board of directors, or you exercise more than one half of the total voting power, either together or with one of its more subsidiaries. So in this instant case, government of X means state government is holding this much share, which is below 51%. Okay. So Y Limited is not a government company. Are you understanding? Y Limited is not a government company. Prem Kumar, absolutely correct. Z is a government company, Almas is saying, but then only it will become if it is a subsidiary of a government company. So please read the question very carefully. You have to do the percentage calculation for government company relationship. 51% holding has to be seen. And when what is the 51% of 95 lakh? It is coming out to be 48.45. You're just holding 48 lakhs, which is below 51%. Okay. Therefore, it is not a government company. See, they have given you the limits very clearly over here. Apparently, you must have decided 48 out of 95, so you're taking a call. No, you have to do the percentage calculation. It should be at least 51%. Now, Y directly holds 2,50,000, 50% of 5 lakh, more than one half. Therefore, it is a subsidiary. Z is a subsidiary of Y. So we will say Z is a subsidiary of Y, but not a government company, since Y is not a government company. I hope everyone is now clear related to this question. Clear? Have you understood where you made mistake and what was the mistake? And I hope this elaborative clarification has thrown clarity in your minds also, because it is a very important concept, children. Any doubts, please feel free to ask over here, because it is little complicated, but I hope I have tried my best to simplify it for all of you. Understood? All right. Good, Shivali. Explain this point 48.45 again. Yes, Mukul, I will upload all the PPTs on the portal. You can download it from there. Nisha Singh says, understood. Adya says, explain one more time. Okay. So those who want me to explain one more time, please listen very carefully. Here, the government is holding 48 lakh shares in Y Limited out of 95 lakhs. So out of 95 lakh, what is the 51% holding? फटाफट से बताओ मुझे chat box में. In order to become a government company, I should be holding at least 51%. What is my total paid up share capital? 95 lakh shares. So what is 51% of 95 lakhs? What is 51%? Absolutely correct. 48.45. Right? How much I'm holding? How much the government is holding? 48. So is it 51% or less than 51%? It is less than 51%. So do you become the government company? Yes or no? Very good. Absolutely correct answers. I'm reading in the chat box. I'm speaking the questions and I'm reading the answers in the chat box. Absolutely correct answer given by all of you. Now understood, clarified. And once you're not a government company, then you keep on having subsidiaries. There is no problem. Subsidiary will never become a government company unless I myself a holding company is not. All right. I hope everyone is clear to this point now. Okay. Now let's move forward to key managerial personnel. But before that, let's do that important question also. Problem from July 2021. It says this information has been taken from the audited financial statement of Smart Solutions Private Limited. What is it trying to tell you? Paid up share capital is rupees 50 lakhs, which is divided into 5 lakh shares carrying voting rights. And there is no change in the paid up share capital. What is the turnover? 2 crores. So how much is the paid up share capital given to us? 50 lakh is your paid up share capital and 2 crores is your turnover. Something related to small company? Can you form an idea? Okay, and it is Smart Solutions Private Limited also. So it is a private company. Nice Software Limited, which is a public limited company. It is holding 2 lakh equity shares fully paid up of Smart Solutions Private Limited. Now there is a company, Nice Software. It is a public limited company and it is holding 2 lakh shares out of 5 lakh of the Smart Solutions. Smart Solution has filed the financial statement for the said year with the ROC and they did not file the cash flow statements within the prescribed time period. What are the financial statements? Those 5 financial statements: balance sheet, profit and loss, statement of changes in equity, cash flow statements, any other explanatory statement. They filed everything, but they did not file the cash flow statements. ROC has issued a notice to them that you have failed to file your cash flow statements along with your balance sheet and P&L. You're advised on the following points. Now, you are a future chartered accountant and you have to advise this company. Number one, can you treat this company as a small company whose significant equity is held by a public company? Number two, has the company defaulted in filing financial statements? Yes or no? So read the question once again with your careful mind and tell me first part of the question. Is it a small company? Yes or no? Good, good, good. I'm reading your answers. Somebody saying yes, somebody saying no. So how are you going to solve this question? First, in the answer, you're going to give 2 important definitions. That is, you will first define what is a small company. A small company is a company in which the paid up share capital does not exceed 4 crores and the turnover is less than 40 crores. Nothing will apply to a holding and subsidiary. First definition you're going to give in this answer is about a small company. Listen carefully now. Stop the chat box, children, because it's an important question. So pay attention. Then you will give the definition of subsidiary company, which we have done n number of times. Now you know what is a subsidiary company's definition. Then you will tell them that out of 5 lakh, we are holding 2 lakh shares. And how are you saying that you become my holding? What is 2 lakh of 5 lakh? 40%, children. You quickly jump to the conclusion, ma'am, it is a holding company relationship. It is never a holding company relationship. For a holding company relationship, how much percentage requirement is required? More than 50 company. More than 50% of the shareholding. And how much he is holding? 40%. So does it become subsidiary? No, ma'am, it does not become a subsidiary. Hence, it is a private company and not deemed to be a public company. वो तो आपको जानबूझकर बोल रहा है कि there is a public company relationship, a public company which is a holding company or a private company, then private company shall deem to be a public company. But here you are not only a holding company, you're holding 40% of the share. So you don't become a holding company. You don't become a holding company. So Smart Solution remains a private company. So Smart Solution is within the limits of 50 lakhs and 2 crores. Then yes, it is a small company. Everybody understood the first part now? Clear? That's why ma'am is sitting here now. Otherwise, if everything would have been clear to you, then why will we hold these classes? So now it has become clear to your mind. I hope everybody had understood. Good. Sunil, Nisha, Mosam, Bhumika, everybody has written yes, ma'am. Now 100% clear. That's wonderful. Now you tell me the second part. Now I have told you the conclusion that I am a small company. Have I defaulted in filing the financial statements? Now you tell. Excellent, Yukta, Farida, Khushi, Mausam, Prem, Shrivali, Priyanka. Good. Everyone have given the correct answer. No, ma'am, because now I'm a small company. Now I have not defaulted in filing the financial statements because it is not mandatory for me to file the financial statement. So it is being a small company is exempted from filing the CFS. So it has not defaulted. Clear, everyone? Take some time to absorb the information that we have discussed. Meanwhile, let's take a small break. Just flip through the pages of your study material and see if you have not found any definition not clear. Meanwhile, we'll take a small break and then you can write it down in the chat box. We'll do it once again. Otherwise, we'll be proceeding further to the KMPs and other definitions. All right, let's take a small break here. Welcome back, students. Yes. Let's continue further. All right. So I hope you don't have any more doubts because I can only read the crystal clear word over here, and we have just done 2 important questions also. Now let's proceed ahead with the definitions. Let's start with another important definition, that is, what is the meaning of KMP? So key managerial personnel is another important definition which tells you who are the very important people of a company. Again, when you'll see this definition, you will come to know that these are very repetitive words that you have been listening. But since the part of it has been given as the definition under key managerial personnel, then we expect you to learn it as it is. So number one is we're going to make the abbreviations and learn it. Number one is CEO of a company. Number two, we're going to learn CFO of a company. So CEO and CFO are very important people of the company. They're taking important management decisions of the company. So they are known as the key managerial personnel. CEO or managing director of the company, who is the MD of the company, who has the overall control in his hand, how the company is to be managed, how all the affairs of the company is to be taken care of. He is also a KM or the manager. So two people with the name of M, that is managing director or manager. Three people with the name starting with C, that is CEO, CFO, and CS, company secretary. And along with the MD only, we're going to do WTD, that is whole-time director. Who is a whole-time director? Who is in the whole-time employment of the company, or a managing director can be the same also, they can be different also. यहाँ तक clear है? These 5 positions are clear to everyone? CEO, CFO, CS. All right. Whole-time director, managing director, or manager of the company. They are known as the key managerial personnel, means the very important people of the company. And the 6th one is such other officer, not more than 1 level below the director, who is in whole-time employment. Yes, Vishnu Kumar, you want to ask something? Do you want to say something?
Why chartered accountant is not considered as a KMP and a cost accountant also?
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll explain. Good, very nice question. So Vishnu is asking why CA and cost accountant are not considered to be the key managerial personnel. So if I am a chartered accountant and I am involved in the personal assistance of your company, or I'm giving you any guidance, I am not a promoter of a company, neither I am a key managerial personnel of your company. CAs and cost accountants who are giving you compliance related advice or something, they are not considered to be the KMPs of the company. Yes, your managing director of the company is a CA, then it's a different story. Okay, but as a consultant whom you have hired as a chartered accountant, they are not considered to be the key managerial persona. Is that clear? So CEO, CFO, and CS, 3 parties. Managing director and manager, 2 parties. Whole-time director, key managerial persona. Now, this is very interesting. One officer, such officer, not more than 1 level below the director. Now, let's assume there is a company in which Harleen ma'am is a MD and Mr. A is 1 level below MD. That means Mr. A is reporting directly to Harleen ma'am. Is that correct? So I am the managing director and below 1 level below the, not more than 1 level below the director who is in whole-time employment. Okay, so this MD you can take, or you can take the same whole-time director. So whole-time director can also be the managing director of the company. So now if Mr. A is aware of some information about the company, he is supposed to report it to the whole-time director. He cannot hide any information. After this definition, we're going to do a very important definition of OID, that is, who is officer in default. Now, this 1 level below person, he's a KMP. So if he tries to hide anything from the management, then he will also be considered as the OID, that is officer in default. he will also be held liable for the company. So that's why let's understand who is this person. One level below the whole-time director means one level below the person who is directly reporting to the managing director or the whole-time director. That person is also designated as the key managerial personnel by the board. Is that clear? Now quickly give me a recap. 3 C's, who are the KMPs? Quickly write down in the chat box, who are the 3 C's? CEO, CFO and CS. Absolutely correct. CEO, CFO and CS are the KMPs. From W, what is the name of the KMP? WTD is a whole-time director. After that, name 2 M's for the KMP. Managing director or manager. Easy, you have learned it. And any other officer, you can either learn it not more than one level below the director who is in whole-time employment, or you can learn it like this. An officer who is one level below the director who is in whole-time employment is also a KMP. They have given you in the negative sense that officer who is not more than one level means a person who is one level below the WTD is also a KMP. Is that clear? Any other officer one level below is also the KMP. Correct. Let's move forward. Let's come to another important definition of listed and unlisted companies. Who is a listed company? Tell me fatafat se. If my shares are listed on the recognized stock exchange, on national stock exchange, do I become a listed company? I can never be a listed company. I have to form a company whose shares are listed on the recognized stock exchange. Then that company is a listed company as per SEBI guidelines. Very good. So the complication arises, who is not a listed company? Listed company is very, very easy. Either whose stocks are listed as per SEBI guidelines or in the process of listing. They are the listed companies. Which are the companies which are not listed companies? A public company which has not listed their equity shares. So if I'm a public company, I have not listed my equity shares, then I'm not a listed company. But I have listed my non-convertible debts issued on private placement as per SEBI guidelines. Now, what is this word private placement? Private placement is something that we are going to do in chapter number 3 of prospectus. There we will be understanding how the private companies can raise the money with the help of the method of private placement. As of now, simply understand that this is a method of raising money. As public company issues prospectus and raise money from the public, a private company can privately raise money from different big investors on the basis of private placement. So public company has not listed their equity shares, but they have listed their non-convertible debts through private placement, or they have listed their non-convertible redeemable preference shares on private placement as per SEBI. Then it is not a listed company. So if I ask you in the first one example only, ABC Limited is a company. It has not listed its equity shares, but it has issued the redeemable preference shares which are listed on recognized stock exchange. Can we say ABC is a listed company? No, ma'am. Correct. Somebody saying yes also. Why are you saying yes? We are doing companies which are not listed companies. So if my equity is not listed, but my non-convertible preference is listed or my non-convertible debt is listed, then I do not become a listed company. Then I'm an unlisted company. Let's do the second point. A private company which has listed its non-convertible debts as per private placement method as per SEBI guidelines. It is also not a listed company. So there is a private company, AB Private Limited. It went to the recognized stock exchange and got its non-convertible debts, NCDs, non-convertible debt securities listed on the recognized stock exchange. Will it become a listed company? Will it become a listed company? Yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am? No, ma'am. It is an unlisted company. And the third one is a public company which has not listed their equity shares on the recognized stock exchange, but yes, their equity shares are listed as per section 23, subsection 3. That is, they have listed on the foreign jurisdiction stock exchange. I am a public company, ABC Limited. I am not listing my shares in Indian Stock Exchange, but I'm listing it as per clause of section 23. What is section 23, subsection 3, ma'am? Chapter number 3. When I start prospectus, very first day I will explain you what is section 23. As of now, sirf utni information which is important for the definitions. That is, it is a foreign jurisdiction exchange. Means listed, मैंने लिखा भी है meaning आपके लिए. Means listed on stock exchange of foreign jurisdiction. If ABC is listing its equity shares on 23 subsection 3 exchange, is it a listed or unlisted company? Tell me. It's an unlisted company. Very good. Clear? Everyone is clear now? So orange ones are the public companies which have not listed their equity, but they're listing their non-convertible debt securities and non-convertible redeemable preference shares through private placement, SEBI guidelines. It is unlisted company. Public company which is not listing equity in India, but listing their equity shares on the foreign jurisdiction. Unlisted company. A private company which is listing its non-convertible debt securities through private placement method. Unlisted companies. Take 2 minutes to absorb this information because I have a very interesting question coming up. Yes, Aditya. Yes, Aditya. You want to speak? All right. Yukta is writing public or private company listed their non-convertible debt securities, listed their non-redeemable preference shares are not considered listed companies. Absolutely correct. All right. So here is the important question, November 2022, in front of you on the screen. Referring the relevant provisions of the Companies Act, there is some student who is trying to create a disturbance in the class. So it's better to remove such students from the class. Aditya, you can type it in the chat box if you want to ask something. Yes, Priyanka, I have blocked them. Thank you for guiding it. Aditya, if you have anything, you can type it in the chat box. I hope the child is blocked and removed. Yes. Bhumika, absolutely correct. Okay, Aditya Kumar, don't worry. We have removed. There was some person who was writing such kind of comments in the chat box over here also. Don't worry, we have removed him. Mahalakshmi, first and second, no. Okay, giving the answers for this one. All right. So how many of you have solved this question? You have to tell me whether these companies are listed companies or unlisted companies. Okay, first two are unlisted, last is listed. Aman, Pooja, Anubhav, Rosie, Mahalakshmi, Nisha Singh. Absolutely correct answers, children. So let's quickly go through. ABC Limited is a public company. It has listed its non-convertible debt securities through private placement basis. So it is an unlisted company. CHG Limited, a public company, has listed its non-convertible redeemable preference shares through private placement basis. As per SEBI, it is an unlisted company. PRS, a public company, has not listed its equity shares on the stock exchange, but the shares are listed on. This is also an unlisted company. All the three companies will be considered to be the unlisted companies. Mosam is saying last is listed. Why are you saying the last company is listed? I just now taught you that if you are registering yourself on 23 subsection 3, then also it is an unlisted company. So this is how you will explain the provisions, then you will apply the principles, and the last line is very important. All these companies are the unlisted companies. Now there is a very, very important question for all of you, which you all have to read very carefully and you have to solve it. Okay. A Limited is an unlisted public company having 5 directors, including 2 independent directors. B Limited is a subsidiary of A Limited. So read the question very carefully. Harsh, that is absolutely correct for your understanding. You can say that when equity shares are listed, then it is on the recognized stock exchange, then only it becomes a listed company. But what the examiner is trying to explain you that he is not giving you the information about listing of equity shares. He's simply telling you that these non-convertible debt securities or non-convertible preference shares as per private placement, if they are listed, will you be called a listed company? So as per the definition of unlisted company, you have to conclude that no, it is an unlisted company. Rohan, your questions related to private companies getting themselves registered or how they raise money, that is part of your chapter number 3 prospectus. There we will understand how the private companies actually raise their money and how they do private placements. All right. I would request from the technical support, please remove this person named Ekta because abusive messages are coming on the chat box. Manish sir, if you can just block. एकता नाम का कोई स्टूडेंट किसी ने लॉग इन करा है उसको ब्लॉक करके रिमूव कर दीजिए प्लीज एकता EKTA एकता ओके आई हैव एक्चुअली blocked but that person is again sending messages.
Okay. Harleen ma'am, good evening
Yes.
and good evening dear students. I request you all to kindly maintain the decency of the class, and I know many people may not be right for the class, but in that case we have to disable the chat for all of the students. Did you get the message?
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, are you able to listen to me?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Students, I think all of you can make it out that if you do it again, we will be forced to disable the chat for all the students. And in that case, you understand that it's not good for any one of you. These are for your benefit. So don't make a scene about it. And in that case, and students, it's a responsibility on each one of you. If you see any of such a thing, you can tell ma'am and directly don't get disturbed by such elements who are doing such things.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am. Even I think Aditya wants to say something. Yes, Aditya.
Ma'am, better don't disable the chat because I don't have access to UMS portal.
Beta, I understand. I don't know whether you are able to see me or not. I am not aware of this.
Yes, ma'am, you are visible. We can see
okay,
you.
I am visible. Okay, because I was driving, so that's why I'm saying. I am just saying I don't want the chats to be disabled. However, with a caveat, I'm asking it very strictly. If such things occur again, First of all, it's a responsibility of all of you students to take such a person as if they are just creating nuisances and disturbing your studies, and they're trying to distract you from your class. If that person would have been right, they would not do it. And after my response, I think they may do it again. Okay?
Madam,
So
madam, because of that, two subject recording is not updated. 2 days it will take.
yes, I understand, because so I hope the right kind of students now will focus only on studies. And Harleen ma'am or any other faculty and my dear students request you, if such a thing happens, don't get disturbed by such things. You just concentrate on your studies. When
Yes,
we
in meeting group chat, he was abusing me very badly, sending images to everyone
okay,
chat.
I didn't see. I'm sorry, I didn't see. Harleen
Ma'am,
ma'am,
they are
sorry.
direct. Yeah, yes, ma'am. The person whosoever he is sending direct messages to everyone, sending wrong images and all those stuff. So
In
that's why
auditing
I
class,
Yes.
told Manisha to block them. I
So
think we have blocked them also now.
yes, so we will try. Technical team, don't disable the chat as of now. And I request all my dear students kindly, obviously, if you are still here, then you want to maintain the decorum and you want to, uh, they want to, what should I say? They want to concentrate on their studies. That's why they are here. But if such student, if any person, let me not even call that person a student. If any person is doing such a thing, let's completely ignore, even if they are putting something personal to you. It is
Just
irrelevant.
ignore it. Yes.
हमारी लाइफ में ऐसे लोग आते हैं जो हमारे लिए irrelevant होते हैं. We should not give so much of importance. Sorry, and with that note, I would say sorry to take your time. So, Harleen ma'am, you may continue, please.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And Aditya, I hope ma'am has clarified your point now. Okay, not to worry and just ignore the person. And we can
ठीक है मैम,
also,
उसको आप ध्यान रखिए, वो आगे से करे ना ऐसा काम.
yes, definitely. The person we have already blocked him. Don't worry. All right. So let's do this problem. A financial statement: A is an unlisted public company having 5 directors. B is a subsidiary of A Limited actively carrying on the business. The paid up share capital is given with 40 members and turnover of 18 crores. And the said company is not a startup company. So you have to tell me whether B Limited is mandatorily required to prepare cash flow statements or not. After providing your answer by analyzing B Limited into the following categories. So first you have to tell me if it is an OPC, then what will happen? Since there are 40 members, so it cannot be an OPC. If it is a small company, then if there is any problem in CFS, if it is a dormant company, and if it is a private company. They have told you specifically that it is not a startup. So CFS exemption is generally available to those I think we'll disable the chat box because this things are still happening. So let us disable. Sir, if you can just disable the chat box. Yeah, just disable it so that the person can leave the class. Yeah, Aditya, don't worry. We have disabled the chat box. Now anyone has any query can raise their hands. All right, let's see the answers to this one. So first you will give the definition of the financial statements, balance sheet, P&L, CFS, all these are the requirements of the financial statement, and the specific exemption is available to OPC, small company, dormant company, and a private company, which is not a startup. However, as per the given question, for 1% company, 40 members are there, so it is not a 1% company. Therefore, the company will not be falling under this category. Therefore, it should file its cash flow statements. Small company, a company which is a subsidiary cannot be regarded as a small company. They have given you the first line. It is saying that it is already a subsidiary. So you don't even have to see the paid up share capital and turnover limits. It will not be considered as the subsidiary company. Therefore, it is, since it's a subsidiary company, therefore it will not be considered as a small company. Dormant company, it is saying the company is actively carrying on the business. So it is not even a dormant company. And it is clearly written that it is not a startup company, and a company which is a subsidiary shall deem to be a public company also. Therefore, it can continue to be a private company in its articles, but actually it has become a public company because of that holding subsidiary relationship. See, so many things they have tried to cover in a single question. Now, since B is a public company and it is a subsidiary of A, that is unlisted company, so it will not fall under the category of exemption. So we will conclude that B is mandatory to prepare the cash flow statement as it does not fall under any of the categories of the companies mentioned under Section 2, Clause 10 of the Companies Act. I hope this question is clear to all of you. And now let's move to the study material ones and see if we have covered all the points, because now another important definitions we'll be taking up. So government company is clear. We have done this one. Listed, unlisted is clear. Managing director, member of the company. We will be doing from my presentation. Net worth. That also I will show you from my presentation. KMPs we have done. So please read example number 7. Everyone has to see. If a company has committed a default with respect to allotment of the shares by the officers, there were no managing director, full-time director, secretary, a person named by the board. Oh, sorry, this is officer in default. This we haven't done yet, so we cannot solve this question. All right, so let's go to my second presentation. First, we will complete the syllabus, and then we will come back to the study material. All right, let's do the definition of member. Who is a member of a company? So there is a general difference that we try to understand member and a shareholder. So when, say for example, how many members are required in a case of a public and private company? I understand now the chat box is closed. So I will only say the question and I will only say the answer. And let's come back to our happy mood of studying. Let's not take the burden of someone else poor mindset to our mindset. We are good students. We are happy students. We are studying. We are concentrating on our subject. Somebody is trying to distract us. We are not going to get distracted. We have disabled the chat box for your own benefit so that no more such kind of distractions is coming. But I know my students are here with me and they're listening to me. So keep repeating in your mind whatever I'm telling you. All right. Keep that calmness and positive mindset always when you're studying. I hope, Aditya, now you are also absolutely calm, cool, and relaxed and facing no problem in the class. Okay. So when I am a member of a company, I want to set up a private company, minimum 2 people are required. I want to set up a public company, minimum 7 people are required. Now, who are these people? These are the people who are going to subscribe to the memorandum. Subscribe means they are going to sign the memorandum of the company and deemed to become the member of the company. Now, Mr. A and B, they thought of opening a company, 2 people trying to open the private company. So they have to sign the memorandum of the company in order to become the member of the company. So when you subscribe means you sign the memorandum of association. On the registration, when the company is incorporated, you become member of the company. Your name will be entered in the register of members. आप तभी कंपनी के मेंबर बनते हैं जब आपका नाम रजिस्टर ऑफ मेंबर्स में एंटर हो जाता है. सो नंबर 1 मेंबर वो होता है who signs the memorandum of association, agreeing to become the member of the company, and when the company is registered, his name is entered in the register of members. Clear हो गया? Every other person who agrees in writing to become the member and his name is entered in the register of members. Now here A and B's name is entered, so they become the member of the company. Now A has taken up certain shares in the company, say 1,000 shares. So A becomes a shareholder also. First you become the member in the company. When you take shares in the company, you become a shareholder. Now A sold 5 shares to Mr. C in the market. In stock market, he sold 5 shares to Mr. C. Mr. C is not the member of the company. If I'm just buying the shares, I become a shareholder. For becoming a member in the company, my name has to be entered in the register of members. Now, if Mr. C says that I agree in writing that I want to become a member and please enter my name in the register of members, then C will also become the member of the company. So which are the two categories? Number one, I'm signing the memorandum and agreeing to become the member means I'm opening the company. I have given my MOA to the registrar. My name is entered in the register of members. I become a member. I purchased the shares from someone else and I agreed in writing that I want to become the member in the company and my name is entered in the register of members. I become the member of the company. Third, every person holding the shares and whose name is entered as the beneficial owner in the records of the depository means. Third point is talking when the shares are issued in the demat form. When the shares are in the physical form, name is entered in the register of members. When the shares are issued in the demat form, the electronical forms, then your name is entered in the records of depository as a beneficial owner. Then you become the beneficial owner. Who is the beneficial owner? Beneficial owner means the person who will get the benefits of the shares. So in case of a demat, name is entered in the records of depository. In case of physical, it is entered in the register of members. In case of demat electronic form, your name is entered as the beneficial owner in the records of depository. And when your name is entered as the beneficial owner, you become the member of the company. Clear? Okay. Another definition from M is managing director. Managing director means a person who by the virtue of the articles of the company, by virtue of the articles means आर्टिकल्स ऑफ द कंपनी की वजह से आर्टिकल्स में लिखा हुआ है इसलिए because of the articles of the company you have made an agreement with the company. So it is written there in the articles that you have made an agreement with the company or a resolution was passed in the general meeting either by the articles mentioning you as a managing director or you made an agreement with the company or the resolution was passed or the board of directors have given you the substantial powers for managing the affairs of the company and you have been given the position of a managing director. So basically, who is a managing director? Who is managing overall affairs of the company, either by articles, his name is given as MD, or resolution was passed in the general meeting, or agreement has been made, or board of directors have given them the substantial power. That is a person who is known as the managing director. Clear? Let's come to another important definition, that is net worth. Okay, let's come to the definition of net worth. Now, net worth is again very, very important thing. Net worth basically means what is your assets less liabilities. What is your net worth of a company? That is of an individual when we try to see. Of a company, say for example, in the further chapters, you will be doing CSR limits have been set up. If the company's net worth is exceeding this much, then they have to compulsorily contribute towards the society. So what is the meaning of this word net worth? There they will not be explaining you the definition. There they will be simply telling you about the limits using the words of net worth. All right. So what is the meaning of the word net worth? Three things we have to add in this and three things we have to subtract and two things we have to ignore in this. Okay. So net worth means the aggregate value of three things will be added: paid up share capital plus reserves created out of the profits plus SPA, that is security premium account. So paid up share capital plus FR free reserves plus security premium account. These three things are added and we reduce accumulated losses. Whatever the losses you have been suffering, that will be reduced. Deferred expenditure means the expenditure which is taken forward to other yields. And miscellaneous expenditures which is not written off is also reduced. So what are the three things to be added? PSC, paid up share capital, free reserve, security premium account. Absolutely correct. What you have to reduce from this? Accumulated losses, miscellaneous expenses not written off, and deferred expenditure. Deferred expenditure means जो हमने defer कर दिया, जो हमने carry forward कर दिया कि we'll take it to the next year. These three things are to be reduced. Two things are to be ignored. So examiner is giving you these two things not to be considered in calculation of net worth. Number one, revaluation of assets reserves. When you revalued your assets, whatever reserves were there, they will be ignored. Write back of depreciation or amalgamation. Write back of depreciation means I have provided excessive depreciation. Now I'm writing it back. So writing it back will have no influence. That is to be ignored. Is that clear? So net worth is aggregate of paid up share capital, free reserve, security premium account. You can use the admin portal, students. If you have any queries, you can write it down in the admin portal also. And you can deduct accumulated losses, deferred expenditure, and miscellaneous expenses, and ignore revaluation of assets and write back of depreciation. Yes, Yukta.
Ma'am, I want to know the difference between write-off and write-back.
All right. So when we are writing off the expenditure means we are making an entry in the P&L account. But writing back is, say for example, you have provided the depreciation for rupees 10,000. Actually, the depreciation was to be provided for rupees 8,000. Now you need to write it back. So such writing back is an entry which is not to be considered in case of a net. Okay. I hope Ms. Soumya, your point is also clear now. So this is the definition that you have to learn, and we can do one question from the module also. So statutory auditor of the company were required to issue a certificate on net worth of the company as per the requirements of the management. Company had fair valued its properties, plant and equipment, which was mistakenly taken into retained earnings. Advised whether this fair valuation would be covered in the net worth. Now, what they have actually done is they have told you this definition, all these three things to be added, reducing losses, deferred expenditure, and two things to be ignored. Now, the statutory audit of the company had to issue the certificate. They have to give that the net worth of the company is fine. So what did they do? They had done the valuation of the property, plant, and equipment and mistakenly taken into the retained earnings of the companies. Now, you have to tell them whether the fair valuation has been done. So what they have done is revaluation of assets actually they have considered. You understand, when you're revaluing the property, then the reserve is created. That should not form part of net worth. So any reserves created out of revaluation shall not be found part of net worth. Company had done the fair value of the property and took that to the retained earnings. But if the company has taken the fair valuation, the resultant credit in the reserves will go out of the reserves created out of the revaluation of assets, which should have been excluded. So the auditor should consider this matter relating to the accounting of the reserves separately at the time of audit of books. You cannot make this excuse that we have taken it into this because it was already included. So this thing has to be excluded. Is that clear? All right. So this example number 7 we will do once we have done the definition of this postal ballot. Children, I'm going to take up this topic when we will doing section 110. It is a method of voting by electronic mode. When we do chapter of management and administration, there we will be understanding the word postal ballot. I think let's close the definition of officer in default also from here only. Who is then officer in default? So many a times you'll be reading in the chapter that the punishment is given to the person who is the officer in default. Person who will be held liable is the officer. Whosoever is in default will be held liable for this punishment. So you have to think, who is this actually the person who is officer in default? So number 1 is whole-time director. Number 2, it says KMP. So KMP, although whole-time director is also a KMP, but they have still specifically told you that all the KMPs are considered as the officer in default. In case there is no KMP, what will happen then? In my presentation, I have simplified it for all of you here. So number 1 is whole-time director. Number 2 is KMP. In case there is no KMP in the company, then whosoever directors have been specified by the board, they will be held liable as the officer in default. And if nobody has been specified, then all the directors will be held liable. So who is officer in default? Number 1, WTD, full-time directors. Number 2, KMPs. Number 3, if no KMPs, then the director who has been specified. No director has been specified, then all the directors of the company. Any person under the immediate authority of the board who is charged with the responsibility of maintaining the files, records, actively participating. So again, that person one level below the authority of the board. If I am a person who is working under the authority of the board or any key managerial personnel, and I know of certain fraud in the company, and I still remain silent, then I will also be held liable as the officer who is in default. So a person who is KMP is held liable. A person who is under the immediate authority means one level below the authority of KMP. If he is also trying to create any fraud in the company, he will also be held liable in case of as an OID, officer in default. Any person on whose advice, directions, and instructions the board of directors is accustomed to act. So, for example, there is a company ABC Limited, and there is a very senior person, Mr. A, who is an industrialist. He is giving all the advice to this company ABC Limited, how the directors will be acting. Other person who is giving in a professional capacity. So your CA, CS, cost accountant who are working in a professional capacity, they are not included over here. Okay, somebody was asking now about CA, CS. Anybody who is giving the guidance to the company in professional capacity, they are not KMPs, they are not OIDs in the company. We are acting in a professional capacity. We are just the advisors. We are not officer in default. But Mr. A, who is a big industrialist, say for example, there is a person who is a director of a company, he has now retired, and he is giving the directions and instructions to the board how they have to act. Then that Mr. A will also be held liable if any mistakes happen in the company. Every director in respect of the contravention, if he was aware of the contravention for the proceedings and did not object to it. So if I am the director of the company, I know my company is doing something wrong and I'm party to it, I will be held officer in default. And in respect of the issue and transfer of shares, all the transfer agents, registrars to issue and merchant bankers will also be held liable. So there is a procedure for transferring and issuing of the shares. So if I am registrar to issue of shares who is issuing the shares, I am the transfer agent and the merchant banker through whom the shares are getting transferred. All these three parties, share transfer agent, registrar to issue and merchant bankers, will also be held liable as the officer in default. So who are the 577 parties? Officer in default, number one, WTD, whole-time director, KMPs, all the KMPs. If there are no KMPs, the directors who are specified. No director specified, all the directors. One person below the level who is acting in the company is held liable. One person above the level. Mr. A is above the level, seniority. I am giving you the directions how you have to act. I will be held liable. Every director who remains silent of the contravention will be held liable. Share transfer agent, registrar to issue and merchant bankers in case of every issue has been done in a wrong way will be held liable. Now you can see that question. So in a company, a default was committed with respect to the allotment of shares. There was no managing director, whole-time director, manager, secretary, and a person in charge by the board. Therefore, in such a situation, fourth point will become applicable. All the directors will held liable. Either the KMPs are held liable if there is no KMP, no director, third point. If there are no KMPs, nobody is there, nothing in consent and writing has been decided, then all the directors of the company will be held liable, responsible for the default. Ordinary and special resolutions, again, part of your chapter number management and administration, section 114. There we do these in detail. Paid up share capital we have already done. Postal ballot also I told you with this part of MGT private company we have done. Promoter, I will be doing it today. Prospectus is again chapter number 3. Detail we are going to do. Public company we have already done. This is again very simple. Related party I'm going to do with you today. I'm just seeing what else is left from the study material. Relative also we're going to do. Share small company, we have already done all these things. Types of capital, subsidiary company, all these points are covered. Children tribunal is the National Company Law Tribunal to whom it is a court for the law cases, to whom we can go for all these cases. If the company has any problem, we can report to the National Company Law Tribunal. Sweat equity shares, when we do share capital and debentures, whole full-fledged sweat equity shares we'll be discussing. But what is the meaning of sweat equity shares? Sweat means when you sweat means when you go to the gym, you have that sweat, your pasina. So आपका जो खून पसीना का मेहनत कर कर आपको जो इनाम मिलता है वो होता है sweat equity shares. These shares are issued to the directors and employees for the hard work that they do, for consideration or for a discount, for any know-how or knowledge or rights that they provide to the company. So they provide certain intellectual property rights or know-hows or knowledge they are giving to the company. In return of that, these directors and employees are issued sweat equity shares. Voting power is again detailed topic of your share capital and debentures. Voting power basically means total number of votes that you cast in favor whenever the meetings are being held. So all these MCQs, once we are done, we are still left with three definitions: promoter, related party, and relative, which we are going to complete today. So once you are done with the chapters, always try to do all the descriptive questions given at the back, MCQs. Read the question twice. Try to think what should be the answer. Then read the options given for the MCQs. This is very, very important tip if you really want to start learning from the very beginning. From chapter 1 only, start doing the MCQs like this. Read the question, twice read it, think the answer, then read the options. You'll never go wrong in MCQs. All right, let's take small break over here and then we'll proceed further. Right, welcome back, students. Let's proceed ahead with the definitions that we are left with. So I hope no doubts in the officer in default till we have done. Let's do the last simple definition of a promoter. So like we have understood who becomes the member of the company, the person who has subscribed to the memorandum of association and he has his name on registration has been entered in the register of members. He becomes the member of the company. Who is a promoter? Promoter is a person who has been named in the prospectus as a promoter, means a person who has come up with an idea of setting up a business. He is named as a promoter in the prospectus. Number two, he is having control over the affairs of the company directly or indirectly as a shareholder or a director of the company, and according to whose instructions and directions the board of directors is accustomed to act. Basically, promoter is the person who has come up with an idea to set up the business. So if I want to set up a company, so till the company is not formed, I will be known as the promoter because my name is named in the prospectus as a promoter. I'm controlling the affairs of the company. Either I become a shareholder or a director after the company is formed. And according to promoters' advice, board of directors is going to act. Nothing in subclause C shall apply to a person acting in a professional capacity. Means if you are a chartered accountant or CS or lawyer who is giving advice to the company, they will never be called as a promoter. Promoter is the person who is opening the company and tomorrow is going to become the member in the company. Is that clear, everyone? Definition of promoter is also clear. Now let's move to the interesting definition of related party, section 2, clause 76. Who is a related party? Related party, you have to understand with a company, what is the relationship of a related party? So if I am a company ABC Limited, or let's take the example of Reliance Industry Limited, who is a related party of Reliance? All the director or relative of Reliance will be their related party. So company ABC Limited and the director of ABC is Mr. A, KMP of ABC is Mr. B, relatives of Mr. B, spouse, father, mother, son, all are related party to ABC Limited company. So my relative, my director and their relatives are my related party. If I am a company, again, let's take the same example of ABC Limited. ABC Limited is a company. Who is a related party? KMP or his relative. Either my director is my relative or my KMP. Who are the KMPs? Will you write in the admin query who are the KMPs? Yes, KMPs are whole-time directors, CEO, CFO, CS, managing director, manager, and one person level below, then the whole-time director will be considered as my KMP. All these persons will be held. Soumya saying, can you please give the last point in definition of KMP? Okay. Okay, Soumya, we will do once again that point that you have asked in the query. So all these persons will be considered KMP or their relative, and relationship of ABC Limited company with this KMP or their relative will be considered as a related party. Yes, Bhumika, absolutely correct. All right. Then the third point. Yes, Pradeep Kumar, you want to say something? Okay. So next, third point is in relation to a company and a firm. What is a firm? Say, for example, a partnership firm. Just a All right. Manish sir, are you there from technical support? I think can we just allow the students the chat box now for a while because they will be thinking to answer. Right. All right. So, all right. Okay, students. So now you can respond to me in the chat box also because this is an important topic. So I want you all to respond back. So there is a company ABC Limited and there is a firm A and Associates. AB and Associates is the name of the firm in which a director, manager, or his relative is a partner. So in firm, we generally have the partners, right? And in company, we have the directors. So there is a director, Mr. A, who is also a partner, in firm AB and Associates. Can we say that this company ABC Limited and AB and Associates are related party? Yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am? Absolutely correct. And now I'm happy to see your yes, ma'am answers also. Okay, Mr. Samsung, again, the name is missing. You want me to explain this point again? I'll explain you. But all of those who have written yes, ma'am, is the correct answer. Yes, Pooja, even I am happy to read your response. And any such issues ever happen, just try to ignore them. Okay, just ignore them and keep on just respond to my answers and listen to what I am saying and what you are going to tell. That person keeps sending direct messages to teachers, to seniors also, ignore. We're not going to get affected, all right? Okay. So once again, I'm telling you, there is a company ABC Limited and there is a firm AB and Associates. If I'm a director in a company and I'm also a partner in your firm, then we become a related party. All right. And we have also covered the first 3 points. Let's do the 3 points again. Number one, if I am a director, so I am a company ABC Limited and my directors are my related party. If I am a company ABC Limited and there is a whole-time director who is working with me, KMP, whole-time director, will he be my related party? Yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am? Yes, ma'am, he is my related party. Very good. Excellent, excellent. And firm point also we have done. Now the fourth point. A company ABC Limited is a company and there is a private company. Now, how my relationship between a company Mausam Kumari, Global Depository Receipt, section number 41. I'm going to do that chapter with you. I'll explain you. Don't worry as of now about GDRs. This is an important definition, related party. Pay attention because this definition is not going to come in further chapters. Okay. Here, ABC Limited is the company. And there is a private company, PQ Private Limited. Okay, listen very carefully, children. Now, one of the directors of ABC Limited is Mr. A. He is also a director in PQ Private Limited. Now, if my company's director is also a director in your private company limited, don't you think there will be an influence in both the companies? There can be confidentiality issues. I am a director in your company and I am a director in your company also. We will be knowing the loopholes of both the companies. We are managing both the companies. We are important bodies in both the companies. Therefore, we are a related party. Ma'am, why do we do the definition of related party? What is the relevance? Because when you go to CA final or in your accounts, you'll be studying related party transactions. There is certain prohibition that the related parties cannot do the transactions together because of the frauds or confidentiality issues. So ABC Limited and PQ Private Limited are related parties. In CA Intermediate, we only try to understand what is the meaning of related party. In further studies, we'll be understand how these related party affect the transactions. Is that clear, everyone? All right. Now the next point. In case of a public company, ABC Limited, and the relation with PQR Limited, public company. How a public company can be my related party? If ABC Limited is a public company and my director, Mr. A, is also a director in PQR Limited, and see, and के आगे asterisk लगाया है क्योंकि and is very important. And he is holding more than 2% of the paid up share capital along with his relatives, then he will become my related party. So if I am a company ABC Limited and my director, Mr. A, is director in PQR Limited and holds more than 2% of the paid up share capital. Then who all are related parties? ABC Limited and Mr. A, or ABC Limited and PQR Limited? Who will be called related party? Thank you for writing crystal clear, ma'am. I'm so glad to read back your messages. Thank you so much. ABC and PQR will be related parties. Excellent. Excellent answers given by everyone. Good. So understood this point also. The last point was how the public companies will be related party among with each other. Now, again, let's have a quick recap. If my director or my relative, my KMP or my relative, firm in which I'm a partner or director, private company in which my director or manager or relative is a member or a director, public company where my director or manager is a director and holding more than 2%. Both the points are important. If I only say that I'm a director in PQR, but I'm holding less than 2%, then not related party. I am a director in PQR also and I'm holding more than 2%, then I am a related party. Now, in case of an holding subsidiary relationship, it says if I am a company ABC Limited, and my director, Mr. A, is giving advice and instructions to the board of directors of another company, of a body corporate. The word used over there is body corporate. What is the difference between company and body corporate? Means here, foreign company is also included. So my director, Mr. A, I'm Reliance Industries, and my director, Mukesh Ambani, is giving advice to the board of directors of this body corporate. Then Mukesh Ambani and this company will also become related parties. So if my company ABC Limited and this body corporate is PQ Limited, if Mr. A gives the directions and advice how the board of directors of PQ Limited will act, how will they behave, then Mr. A and then ABC Limited and PQ Limited will be related parties. Okay, a similar point that you have done in the officer in default also, according to whose advice and directions. But all the director and managers are covered, not the relatives. If you'll see in point number 5 and 6, we are not using the word relatives. Here we are using the word director, manager, or his relative. Director, manager, or his relative. Director or his relative. KMP or relative. In the first 4 points, there is director, manager, or his relative. 5th point, only director or manager, not relative. 6th point, only director or manager, not relative. One more exception. Any advice given in professional capacity, हर बार आ रहा है, बार-बार आ रहा है. अगर CA, CS advice दे रहे हैं. Yes, Pooja Kashyap, here company and VC are related parties, means a body corporate. Okay, they are related parties. Absolutely correct. But if the advice is given by a lawyer, CS in professional capacity, then that will not be included. Clear, everyone? And the last is any person according to whose advice director or manager of the company of another company is acting, that is also a related party, again, not in the professional capacity. There, a company's director or manager is giving. Here, any person, individual ki baat ho rahi hai. So, individual is also a related party to that company. Now comes the most complicated one. I am a company, my holding company, my subsidiary company, my co-subsidiaries. What is the meaning of co-subsidiaries? A Limited has a subsidiary B Limited and a subsidiary C Limited. So B and C Limited are known as my co-subsidiaries. Okay. So subsidiary company, holding companies and associate company, all these companies and my director, KMP or relative of my holding company is all the directors, KMP and relative of my holding co-subsidiaries, associate companies, they all are related party with each other. But for the purpose of this clause, independent director will not be counted. Any director other than the independent director will not be counted. Is that clear? So basically, the last point tries to tell you all my holding, subsidiary, associate companies, and all these parties will also be considered as the related party. And last one is, in case of a company, any other person as may be prescribed. Any other person as may be prescribed means whosoever will be again told, that will also be considered as a related party. So simple definition of related party you have to do. The last definition which is left is of relatives. You can just read it. It's a very simple definition. I will show you from the book over here, from the module. This is the definition of a relative, which tells you that all your father, mother, son, son's wife, daughter, daughter's husband, all these are included in the definition of your relative. But the only thing is, brother includes stepbrother also, and sister includes stepsister also. Yes, this is the list of relatives which you have to remember. Father includes stepfather, mother includes stepmother, son includes stepson. The only point to tell over here is daughter. There is no stepdaughter word included. Otherwise, all the close relationship, mother, father, son, son's wife, daughter, daughter's husband, brother and sister are included in the part of your definition of relatives. With this, we come to close and end of this chapter. I hope you all have enjoyed learning the definitions. Thank you so much, Yukta, for writing that you have made the concepts very clear, ma'am. Thank you, Yukta. I'm glad you enjoyed the session. And please try to learn all these points today itself. So let's welcome Shraddha ma'am is here. She wants to meet all of you.
So, dear students, I think I should change the camera or something. This video
Yes,
is coming.
you're
I
visible.
think I think I'm pretty visible more than much. So that's why I'm thinking, should I remove this or do what?
No, ma'am, it's fine.
I used a webcam today and I think it's like, so next time I should use my regular this webcam only.
Yes, ma'am.
So students, today you had some new senses and everything in the class. It's okay. That's a part and parcel of your journey towards success. People will come and go and who will disturb you. But this is a kind of reminder to us कि कोई कुछ भी कहे, हमें अपना काम करना है.
And the ma'am, best part of the class was that we are still good ahead of time and we were able to complete our syllabus in spite of the person trying to distract at its best. We have just not bothered to care about that person.
It's a kind of success in itself to you students and to Harleen ma'am, actually. Because the students were patient enough and they decided to go ahead with the class, and even Harleen ma'am handled the situation very beautifully. So, today we will not be discussing too many definitions, but as I promised, at least we will be doing one or two statements or definitions with you. And as far as, oh, great Pooja. Thank you for appreciating Harleen ma'am. So, आप एक चीज from tomorrow onwards, the morning class that you will have, in that class, what we will do is you can attend the class only after registration. Okay. What does that mean? You have to enter the requisite details as given, and then when you enter those details, then only you can enter the class. So be on time. We are starting this from tomorrow. And then hope so everything is fine. Okay. So in the last class, you were saying about discussing about one definition was private and public company, you were saying. But I think ma'am has already discussed it with you in the starting of the class. How we know the process, ma'am, lectures will be free in YouTube. No need to register. No, you have to now register. Necessity is the mother of all inventions. YouTube you don't have to register, but here No, for recorded class, you don't have to register. Yes, Gigi?
Ma'am, only Zoom
Yes,
session are
in
required.
Zoom. Yes, in
Only
Zoom,
Zoom.
you have to register yourself. So when you will be clicking on the Zoom link, then registration portal will open for you. In that, you have to enter the requisite details. Okay? And this will start from tomorrow morning. So coming back, so I think you have already learned about private and public companies. And the next definition that you guys discussed today was related party. Okay. So in related party, ma'am has already shown you a very nice diagram. I could see that. Okay. So let's learn it now. How will we learn it? Since we are talking about the Companies Act 2013. So related party will be, just give me a moment, students. I think now I'm better. I'm feeling like myself. So while we are discussing this Companies Act 2013. So related party will be obviously in relation to a company. Actually, why I'm stressing on these words, thank you, Sunil, even I was feeling very bad. So I'm good at it there. So the point is, it means a related party means a company which. Now, if I am a person who will be most close to me, the people with whom I have direct relations, and in this case, the people who will, in relation to a company, who are the direct people? It is obviously the directors. क्योंकि उसका सबसे पहला रिलेशन किसके साथ है? द कंपनी को चला कौन रहा है? अगर हम घर के कंटेक्स्ट में देखें, if I see it in terms of my own home or your own home, the people who are directly related to you. So in case of a company, it will be directors. Now, the directors and their relatives. Okay. If I see the hierarchy in a company, so the directors and then with directors, their relatives. Now, the second person who will be most close to the company will be the KMPs. One level just below the directors. Correct. Priyanka, instead of manager, we will be using the word KMP because that's what the definition, people who are more close to the company will be there. So it will be director and its relative, and then you will be having KMP or his or her relatives. So cover 2 points. KMP means key managerial personnel. Okay, Manish ji, remove this child. Ekta, she or he is again sending me the messages. Kindly, just a moment. No, तो we can't. Waiting room बना दीजिए ना. अब तो क्लास खत्म होने वाली है. हाँ, please. Thank you. Sorry. So we have discussed 2 people. Next, अब relations से ऊपर बढ़ेंगे. अब हम देखेंगे to whom the company will have contact with. Aditya, I will not unmute anyone right now. You can just message me. Okay, beta? So the next person will be who will have a direct relationship with the company apart from the people will be other companies and firms. So in this, we can have 3 type of things. One will be firm and the company. Then companies will be private and public company. So we have categorized in terms of people, which is directors and its relative, then KMP and their relative, and then we have firm and private companies. And one don't allow this child Kirubhasi. I don't trust the child now. Okay, Manish ji? Yeah. So In this, we have categorized three things. Now, if we are talking about the company cannot deal directly with anyone. So what we will do, they have to now again operate through somebody. So this will be again managers or key managerial persons. If you see, they are saying director or manager or his relative is a member in that company. Why we are saying member in that company? And why we are including the relatives? Relatives definition ma'am has already taught you. Okay. I think ma'am you have discussed the definition of relative also, na? Okay. So
Yes, ma'am.
because
Yes.
in case, because in case of relatives, we can have a direct control over them. So if you see most of the things, the point is always whenever you want to control anyone, then only you can make things happen through them. Okay. So we are done with 5 points here. Then if I'm talking about companies, then I have another term, which is a body corporate. Okay. And which body corporate? Because body corporate, we know what is a body corporate. It includes a company incorporated outside India also. Okay. No. Yes, it includes a foreign company. Do you know the meaning of no, but it does not mean a foreign company. It includes a foreign company. Okay. Ma'am, have you explained to them the meaning of the word includes?
Yes, ma'am, you can still throw some light on it more.
Okay.
I have explained them with context to body corporate only.
Just a moment, bit. Yeah, sorry. So the body corporate is, we were discussing about body corporate and it includes a foreign company. I will come to the word includes. What does the word includes means? So in this case, and again, the same thing will be there. A body corporate whose board of directors, because we are talking about directors, managing directors, then again those KMP wala things. Ab is case mein they are adding one more thing. What is that? In whose direction the board of directors are accustomed to act according to their advice, directions, or instructions. Why these lines are being written? These lines are written so as to make them अंडर द कंट्रोल जिसके हिसाब से आप काम कर रही है वो कंपनी और बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट उस हिसाब से काम कर रही है. ओके, दिस पॉइंट इज ऑल्सो क्लियर. ओके, देन बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट से ही रिलेटेड हमारा एक पॉइंट और है. ओके, विच इज आई विल बी रीडिंग इट. Any body corporate which is holding subsidiary or associate, subsidiary of a holding company to which is also a subsidiary, and investing company or the venturer of the company. I think the other 2 points are pretty clear to you why they have included it. So it will be investing company or the venturer of the company. This is a new point. Investing company में हमारा या तो control होगा या हमें वो control कर सकते हैं. So that's why all this is a relative party. Okay, and then in relation to the advice, then we can say they have include any person, कोई भी हो जिसकी instructions पे the company can act on the advice, directions, or the management. So they have included 3 words here. We can learn it. Instructions or advice. The company is accustomed to act. Words 3 है यहाँ पे. Accustomed to act. So चाहे वो company हो, चाहे वो person हो, चाहे वो body corporate हो. On whose advice, directions, or one more word, instructions. You have to follow me. You have to follow me. You have to follow me. So, how will you follow? You will be following my advice. I'm talking to you lovingly. I am directing you or I am instructing you. So, only these things will be there. A director or manager or very good Anubhav is accustomed to act. Learn the word accustomed to act. Very good, Priyanka. These are the keywords, and baki to you can round about it on your own. So there are total 8 points, and we now can easily remember. First was close. So director and his relatives. Second is what? KMP and his relatives, or then other things are related with the company. So a private company and the directors and managers and their relatives, public company, then the firm. Then if we are talking about the company, then the other person is body corporate. With body corporate, we had 2 points. And then let's sum up everyone together, which is any person. So I think this definition, ma'am, has already made it very clear to you. I just wanted to make you remember it. Now
Ma'am,
I will.
Aman is asking, ma'am, in the holding subsidiary relationship, all are related parties. So if you're having the similar kind of relationship between the directors, Aman, all these companies, their directors, KMPs will be considered as related party along with the co-subsidiary also. And Shrivali is asking for a public company as a related more than 2% is required for a body corporate. Yes, so you have to see two relationships. One is director and 2% more than holding is there. Then only they become the related company.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So I will just, since we are already at 8:37 and I don't want to bore the students more, there is one more thing that I will help you with. When we were reading the definition of body corporate, so they were having the word body corporate includes. The word that they were using there was includes a company incorporated outside India. So does that mean only companies incorporated outside India are included? Yes or no? Okay. No. No. Why? The word includes means जो हम normally समझते हैं, the thing that yes within India also. Why? Includes means कि जो हम normally समझते हैं वो तो है ही, उसके अलावा जो आप नहीं समझ रहे थे वो हमने आपको 1 पॉइंट एक्स्ट्रा बता दिया.
ये तो है ही
So
है
in
और
English
भी
it
चीजें होंगी.
means no.
ये तो
Aman,
है ही है.
जो what you normally means body corporate में that is there, but more than that what the act wants to tell you, that I am telling, that the act is telling. Yes, Maharleen ma'am.
Yeah, I was just concluding with you only that ये तो है ही है, इसके अलावा और भी ये होंगे. So includes means और भी है. Inclusive definition means there's still some things more to be included in this.
Rajveer, I'm sorry, but this time you have to need to have a registration number, then only you can enter. I'm sorry, but we have to regulate it somewhere. And Aman, it does not mean every entity. Entity is a very wide term. Okay, and Nagaratha Bani, I am giving this tips and tricks in every class. If you see, in the last class also I gave some tips. Like this is the way you will learn. Okay, because ma'am has already explained everything to you. Correct, Nisha. So I think, ma'am, today our students have behaved very well, and I'm proud of you, my dear students. And with this, I would say a big thank you to Harleen ma'am and all. I'm really not only happy, but I'm proud of you. So continue your studies, do well, and be good students and be good human beings. That's what I want to say today in my class.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for always boosting the confidence of students and me myself also.
Yes, with this we can conclude our today's class. Okay, See you tomorrow, and do remember that you have to fill up the, while you will be trying to enter the Zoom, you have to put in the details. Okay? Take care. Good night, kids. Bye.
I want to say